नमस्कार, मैं हूं प्रोफेसर रश्मि जेता और आप देख रहे हैं बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेस। बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेस पर डिबेट, डिस्कशंस और ऐसे कई कार्यक्रमों का सिलसिला जारी है। हर संडे हम आपके समक्ष आते हैं अच्छे कार्यक्रम को लेकर, अच्छी बहस को लेकर। एंड टुडे वी हैव येट अनदर इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक। द टॉपिक इज इंग्लिश, द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ इंग्लिश। Why do we want to learn English? Why do we think that English is the most important language? Despite all languages, we still want to learn. Is English an international language? Is English important in different parts of the country? What are the facts? And what are the real facts? Why we learn English? Now, we have seen that earlier, English used to be the language of aristocrats. You know, the aristocrats used to speak in English. It used to run into the corridors of elite people. But now, English has become almost a lingua franca, a language which is spoken and understood by most of the Indians. So that way, English has traveled itself from huge houses to a common street. So why is it so that English has become so famous? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of this language? For all these discussions, we have the panel of people discussing this. But before everybody speaks, I would like to switch over the camera to Manish Soni, sir.
Sir, as far as today's topic is the importance of English. So it is really important. That's why we are discussing importance of English. Because nowadays, what happened? That whatever you want to do, especially out of your local place, you have to know English. I personally experienced that whatever job I have got so far, I have got because of English. Even I'm working in a Hindi news channel, but my interview used to be in in English. So because of my English, I have got that job. So literally, I would like to inspire the whole student that they should learn English, because English is integral part of system. Whatever people are speaking that we have to be concentrated on our mother language. Yeah, we have to be concentrated. We have to be perfect in our mother language. But despite, if you want to do something extraordinary, if you want to go beyond the limit, if you want to do something on international level, so you have to know English.
But Manish, I would like to ask you one more question. You said that you cleared your interview in English and that is where you got the job. But do you not think that that was a kind of a consciousness, a kind of a mindset in the minds of the people who think that English is smartness, English is knowledge, English is better than others? But that is a wrong misconception. Do you not think so?
No, sir. This is not wrong conception, because what happened that if anybody know other language, because we have our own language like Hindi, like Bundeli, but if I know some other language, so we always consider as an extraordinary person, and it's true. The person who are taking your interview, they can understand that if this kind of people who live in backward place, despite he know English, they have quality to work out, they have quality to learn something, they have quality to do something extraordinary, and everybody want extraordinary employee for their company, because they want to present their company as a on international level. So somewhere or the other, English play very important role for getting job in this condition, sir.
Okay, so as you heard that English plays a very, very important role in terms of your job settings, in terms of your personal achievements, in terms of your placement well in society. We'll switch over to Hari and we see how Hari reflects upon this subject.
Sir, as Manish sir has told, sir, English is very important and for getting anything. Like sir, if we are doing if we want to do any job and we are going for any interview, sir, they ask, you know English and you are able to speak in English, then they will provide job. If sir, also if we do any work and sir, we go out places, out of like sir in South Indian places. So we do not know that language that they speak. So English works like mediator. English is a language of communication. So we can interact to easily for to that persons easily. So English.
Yeah, Manish, we had this question to many people that what is the need to learn English? Now, there was a time when people answered English is an international language. But the fact is, nobody goes out. Normally, people do not go out and they say English is an international language. But do you not think the fact is English is a kind of a national entity, because in any state you travel, you do not know the language of that state, but if you know English, you can, interact and communicate.
That's
So in India, it is very important.
Yes, sir. In India, it's very important. Suddenly, I visit Bangalore, and I realize that very few person know Hindi, and most of the person know Kannada as well as English. So
Yeah.
Kannada, it is very difficult to learn. Kannada, Telugu, whatever language is there in South and in other states, it is very difficult to learn. But we know there's a one common language, that's English. English. So most of the person they can learn and they can reply. So whatever we want to do, suppose I had made a film in Bangalore. So the man source to discussion, man source to debating, to asking something, to it's English. So I realized that at that time I feel that I'm very comfortable with South Indian people also, because I know English.
You know English, that's why you're comfortable with South Indian people also.
Yeah.
Yashasvi, what is your take on this topic?
Sir, I feel like as we all know that English is a vital English plays a vital role in today's world and become a lingua franca language and a common language
Right.
in the 21st century.
Right.
And there is a numerous country who speak English widely more than our native language, because many more countries speaks English. There are 100 plus countries who speaks English as a second language, not their native language. So but the question is why they speaks English, because there is a lots of global communication, technology, education. In this field, their English is very important. So as we all know and we see that English plays very essential role for us in the world.
Okay, if I ask you this question personally, that how would English help you achieve your goals?
Yes, sir. Definitely, English is good achieving my goals in future, because if I get a good job in future, I learn English.
Okay, right. And Kasak, what's your take on this subject?
Sir, English, as the world become increasingly globalized, the ability to speak English has become more critical. And learning English can be an invaluable asset, and it helps our gaining the knowledge and information. Many countries are speaking English, and some people are not learning English, but learning English is more important, because when we are going any country, we are speaking in English, because many countries are speak English.
But do you not think there is less chance of going to other countries rather than being here? In India itself, English is important. Why we talk of France, Germany, there people whether they speak or not doesn't make much of a difference to us. But in India itself, if you travel to other states, like you travel to Maharashtra or south of India, you must know English, because people do not know Hindi there. So that is the problem.
Yes, sir.
It's there.
There is also India. In India, when we are given interview in any job, there is also interview in English. So we all.
Manish, do you not think that people have wrongly perceived English as synonym of smartness? A person who knows English is smart. A person who knows English is intelligent. This is a wrong conception. Or is it right?
I think, sir, what is the definition of smartness? Smartness means a person who can do something extra, a person who can be a cut above the rest. So I think that those persons who can learn English, they on self prove themselves that I can do something extra.
Okay.
Because I have realized that too many persons have started learning English.
Right.
Very few person can speak.
Very true. This is
That's
very,
why
very
that's smart.
important, very important point which Manish sir has just mentioned, that why do we think that people who speak in English is smart? Because they have made an extra effort to learn one more language. The others have started and left.
Yes, sir.
This is what you want to say.
Definitely.
So it's definitely a person appears to be very hardworking and laborious once he starts learning and speaking. Arunesh is there on the platform today. Arunesh, what is your view?
So I think that if we want to interact with like a South Indians or a 70 plus countries people, we must have to know English,
Right.
because there is if we want to interact, we don't know the language of that particular states or any other country. So if we know the English, we absolutely can interact with them with the confidence. And I think that if we know the English very well, our confidence level will be very higher. Because as every person in India think that the people who know English and who is studying in an English medium school and this type of thing, so they are very smart, they are extraordinary. So I think that if we can speak English, so our confidence will be increased in front of it.
Apart from confidence and apart from communication and interaction issues, do you not think that if you speak in English, it is, or if you learn English, it is for your personal gain also? Like most of the books are there in English.
Yes, sir. I think that it's my own personal view that if we know, if there are many books in English, but there at the same time there are many books in Hindi also. So I think that if we know English, we are extraordinary because we are learning that English. We are learning apart from our own native language. So I think, sir, that English is a very important in our life.
Okay, what's your take, Kajal?
So I think that everyone talking about personal growth.
Right.
But for me, it also, I don't want to talk about personally, but I know that for India, it is important to make revenue, as India is very famous for tourism. For a good English person, the person who speaks good English, they can guide the international tourists to they make revenue. And then, for example, that India is making world famous movies that are in Hindi, but they can also famous in other country also because of English. They can see movies that I think that English make revenue also in our country, not in other state also.
We have seen that most of the countries which have developed to the stage of developed nations like France, Germany, Japan, China, England, America, they all have their own language. They have not developed themselves on the basis of a borrowed language. We have Hindi as our own language. Why do we want to borrow this language?
Actually, sir, we have to be very practical. We are always, supporting Hindi. It's good because it's our mother language and we have to know best Hindi. And we know that Hindi is one of the difficult language that other person unable to understand and other person unable to learn it. But be very honest that we have, India. How many state peoples are speaking in Hindi? Very few. North India and Madhya Pradesh and little bit Chhattisgarh and others. And apart from these states, if you go Maharashtra, we know very few people speak. If you go, Tamil, if we go Kerala, if we go, Bangalore, if we go other, state, we know very few person. Even a signing board, we are unable to find that it's a road in Hindi.
Because India is becoming, or India has already become globalized nation.
Yes,
so
sir.
people from different languages come and meet airports, railway stations. So everybody has to understand that way. But do you not think, Manish, in some of the nations, they do not follow one pattern, like one language? In many of the nations, you find things written in their own language. And that becomes difficult for Indians or other people to understand.
Even, sir, one more thing I would like to mention here. कई लोगों को बहुत बुरा लगेगा वो चीज सुन के, लेकिन ये हकीकत है. We have started medical, study in Hindi. We have started. Pupils claim that doctor will write their prescription in Hindi. In Damoh, it's a place of Madhya Pradesh. It's a total Hindi place. I have seen so far only single doctor prescribe one prescription in Hindi, and after that there was no any prescription in Hindi. Just show me मैं क्लेम करता हूँ कि मुझे लोग दिखाएं कि फलाने डॉक्टर ने हिंदी में प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लिखा है, एक व्यक्ति ने एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लिखा और फेसबुक पर डाला, उसके बाद से मुझे ना
But what is why is it important?
सर मैं प्रैक्टिकली बात कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज
क्योंकि जब किसी की जान का सवाल है, जब किसी को दवा का सवाल है, जब किसी की इमरजेंसी का सवाल है, तो उस वक्त भाषा कहाँ आती है सामने? जिस भाषा में आप किसी को, जैसे आपको कहा कि आपको दर्द हो रहा है, तो आप बताओ स्पैज्म है, बर्पिंग है, कुछ भी है ऐसा मान लीजिए, तो दैट यू कैन ऑलवेज स्पीक इन द लैंग्वेज यू प्रेफर.
That's why I'm telling that why English is important. Because sir, we have we can't cut this thing from our life, because it's a integral essential part of our life.
शायद यही कारण है कि इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल आज भी खचाखच भरे हुए नजर आते हैं.
कितने इवन आप गवर्नमेंट देखो, गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में सीएम राइज शुरू हो गए हैं, उसके अलावा नवोदय हो गए हैं, सेंट्रल स्कूल हो गए, इन्हीं की तरफ लोग ध्यान देते हैं. जो एक गली का, एक चौराहे का जो उत्तरी शाला है, वहाँ कितने लोग अपने बच्चों को एडमिट कराना चाहते हैं? वेरी फ्यू. जो मजबूर
and most of the private schools are English medium.
CBSE course English medium.
So anybody wants to add anything, you can raise your hand and add. Anybody wants to add in the discussions. If you don't raise your hand, then I'll not switch over to you.
So I think sir has told that कि जो हिंदी में लिखता है, but it's a kind of thing that mentally a set of people that अरे हिंदी में लिखता है, इसको क्या ही आता होगा.
People have made this mindset wrong. Those who do not know English, they are considered to be a grade lower, but that's wrong.
देखिए सर, गलत तो है, लेकिन है, इसको आप जो कह सकते हैं वाइड स्किन अट्रैक्शन, जो औपनिवेशिक जो हमारा जो कॉलोनियल लेगेसी है, इट इज देयर. ये कहीं ना कहीं हमारे यहाँ से बिगिनिंग से है. लेकिन सर मैं ये हमेशा कहता हूँ कि इंग्लिश के साथ साथ हिंदी भी आपकी परफेक्ट होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जो अच्छी हिंदी नहीं बोल सकता वो अच्छी इंग्लिश भी नहीं बोल सकता. सो देयर शुड बी परफेक्शन ऑफ इंग्लिश. केवल आप हिंदी 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 कहते रहो, जब आप बोलो तो शाह की जगह सा बोलो, तो देयर इज नो यूज ऑफ दैट काइंड ऑफ हिंदी.
That's true.
है ना? बड़े बड़े लोग बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हो, समस्या का समाधान ही करते हैं सर.
That's true.
So I think that language is language. And we should take it as a language, and perfection should be there. If you do not have perfection, and then you will promote your language, and you are telling that this is our हमारे गरिमा की बात है, राष्ट्र हित की बात है, तो ये बातें सिर्फ बातें होती है और बातों का कोई अंत नहीं होता. We have to be a little bit practical. We should know English and we should know Hindi.
And we should try to develop it. Yes, Hari.
Yes, sir. As Manish sir has told how English is important, sir, in our India. Sir, in India also, sir, if we are preparing for civil service, sir, most of places and most of coaching institutes teach in English. And sir, I had also gone to Delhi. So there are 1 or 2 places where they teach in Hindi. And sir, if we want any books and sir any notes for their institute, sir, never we will get good books in Hindi. They always prefer English. And sir, now sir, I have also mentioned one thing, sir, in UPSC this result, sir, only few percent in Hindi medium has selected in UPSC, but 95% English mediums aspirants has selected in UPSC also. So sir, English is a place everywhere is placed their role. So
see, learning English is basically doing a little bit more. See, Hindi, we learn it from streets, we learn it at home, we learn it everywhere. So there is no problem, we don't learn Hindi. Hindi automatically comes, it's a part of our life. But when you learn something, that is something new. It depends on your efforts, on your hard work. Whether you put in hard work to learn new things or people go beyond and learn French. So what is the problem in learning French? There is a French school, German school, Japanese school, because you can go and get job there. So English that way is very important in all walks of life, and it is easy language. You see, it is very easy language because if English has a smaller circle compared to that, other languages have a bigger circle. So everything is very small and very easy in English. It is very easy. You can start in 2 days and 3 days. So that's why if you make an effort, Manish, do you think that those who have not been able to learn English properly now raise questions against English?
Yeah, sir, it's also point, sir.
जो नहीं सीख पाए अंग्रेजी, जो नहीं बोल पाए अंग्रेजी अपने समय में, अब अंग्रेजी के खिलाफ एक उनका विरोध है, लेकिन बच्चों को वो इंग्लिश मीडियम में ही भेज रहे हैं पढ़ने।
हाँ, ये सर ये जो कहना चाहिए कि डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स जो थिंकिंग है, ये वी आर फाइंडिंग इट दैट पीपल हु हैव ट्राइड, ऐसा नहीं उन्होंने कोशिश की है, नहीं कर पाए, तो अब हम विरोध करना शुरू करते हैं, वो नहीं मिले खाने तो खट्टे हैं। मैं ये कहता हूँ कि विरोध इस चीज का मत करो कि आप इंग्लिश मत बोलो, विरोध इस चीज का करो कि आप गलत हिंदी ना बोलो।
राइट,
इसका विरोध कभी नहीं करता।
श, स और श के बीच में अंतर मालूम होना चाहिए।
हाँ।
नाम भी पता होना, ज और ज क्या होता है ये होना चाहिए था।
लिखते भी लोग गलत हैं,
करी है,
बोलते भी गलत है।
मैंने देखा न्यूज़पेपर्स में लिखे होते हैं आरोपित,
हाँ,
करी है, श्रीमती की स्पेलिंग।
हाँ, ये गलत बात है कि आप हिंदी गलत बोलते हो, गलत लिखते हो, इसमें सुधार होना चाहिए, ना कि आप इंग्लिश का विरोध करो। आई रिमेम्बर दैट माय ग्रैंडफादर, माय नाना जी, he is from MA from English medium history, and he also know Russian language also at same time. He used to be teacher of Maharaja Pratap School, principal of Maharaja Pratap. He know at least 5 languages. So I think that's why he considered as a Superman. I always told him Superman because he know too many things. So I think if you have something extra, so you become extraordinary. Why there's a problem with being extraordinary? आप घर का एक काम, आप बहुत अच्छे शिक्षक हो, आप बहुत अच्छे डॉक्टर हो, बहुत अच्छे बिजनेसमैन हो, उसके साथ अगर आप घर में एक बहुत अच्छी डिश बना के जानते हो तो इसमें गलत क्या है?
ठीक, दर्शकों का ध्यान अपनी ओर आकर्षित करना चाहूंगा ये बताने के लिए कि आज का प्रश्न क्या है। कई वर्ष पहले भारत में आंग्ल प्राच्य विवाद शुरू हुआ, जिसको ओरिएंटल ऑक्सीडेंटल डिबेट कहते हैं। इसमें बहस इस बात की थी कि भारत में मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन हिंदी होगा या इंग्लिश या कोई और लैंग्वेज, वर्नाकुलर्स होंगे। अंत में निर्णय लिया गया कि भारत में मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस इंग्लिश ही होगा, और पहली बार इंग्लिश को भारतीय भाषा का मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन स्कूल और कॉलेजेस में बनाया गया। आपका प्रश्न ये है कि ये वर्ष कौन सा था जिस वर्ष भारत में मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन के रूप में इंग्लिश को अपनाया गया? ये प्रश्न आपके सामने, और इसका जवाब आप 2 दिनों के अंदर अंदर हमें इस नंबर पे ज़रूर भेज दें। पिछले सप्ताह मैंने सवाल पूछा था कि गांधी जी वो किस वर्ष भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष बने, तो सही उत्तर है 1924 बेलगांव अधिवेशन, सिर्फ एक बार। और सही उत्तर देने वाले का नाम है आयशा, ये दमोह के पुराना थाने से हैं, और आयशा ने सही उत्तर देकर 501 रुपये का नगद इनाम जीता है। सो आयशा, आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई। आप देखते रहें, और आप सभी दर्शक इसी प्रकार देखते रहें और प्रश्न को सुनते रहें और उसका उत्तर दिए गए नंबर पे करते रहें। हमारे पास कुछ ऑनलाइन लोग भी हैं जो इस विषय पे बात करना चाहेंगे, आप उन्हें भी सुने। ये ऑनलाइन वाले हमारे पास कुछ स्पीकर्स हैं।
English plays an important role. English is very necessary at this time. According to me, English is very necessary because at this time English is very important to find jobs, to get more opportunity. English is not just a language, it's a tool that opens the door to get more opportunity in every field. If we see that English is very necessary in every field, if you want to become an engineer, if you want to become a judge, if you want to become an IAS, then English is very necessary in all field. English is an international language, and in many countries English is used as a second language in school. In India, English is the second official language after Hindi. Then English plays an important role. Whereas I know that at this time the glamour of English is very much. If we talk about the English language in schools, then student speak in English language very much, and it also very good because English is very necessary for all the students, for all the people in this world.
As we all know,
that English language is very important for everybody, because in daily life most of the people use English language. As we all know that in most of the worlds, most of the people use English language as their daily life language, so that English language plays a very important role in our life. English language is considered as the second official language in India. Apart from this, English language not only considered as an important language, but it is necessary that we should have a knowledge of English language. As in India, in some states people don't know Hindi, and because they have their own mother tongue, so so most of the people don't know Hindi, so they use English as their daily life language when they talk with the pupils of other states. So in this way English plays a very important role. Now what are the importance of English? So the importance of English is that in communication English play a very important role. Now apart from this, in the jobs opportunity English play a very important role, because English gives us a good job opportunity. By learning English we get respect, because English is very important language. If we don't know English, then we cannot go outside of the country, and also in our own country we cannot go at most of the places. So in this way English is very necessary. Now English is not only necessary in these things, but apart from this English is also necessary in learning in grammar, because if we know English, then we can easily solve any question of the English, because in most of the exams English is asked. So it is very necessary in this way. So it is necessary that we should have a knowledge of English.
So towards the end of the debate, we'll ask anyone else who would like to speak anything more on the subject.
As sir said that the many person who don't know English, so they always disrespect that. And as I want to give one example, that I'm from a government school, and which is particularly a Hindi medium and English medium also. So there are some teachers who always disrespect me because I am from English medium. And this is the main thing, that they don't know Hindi as well as they don't know English. They don't know both languages, yet they are disrespecting me. So I think that they think that if he know English, so it means this is a very bad thing. And as at same time I ask some question in Hindi, so they don't know that they don't give me an answer. And I think that sir, that in many schools they think that if there is a child in a government school, there is a child of English medium, so there is no importance of English there. There is only a importance of Hindi, but yet they don't know Hindi very well.
Yeah, true. That kind of jealousy out of not knowing English is there, and is rooted everywhere in India. Anyone else who would like to add? Yes, yes, Shasvi.
So there is a lots of international schools in India, big schools. They are only in English medium.
Right.
Some parents are not speak English very well. They only speak Hindi, but they wanted her child to be in English medium. So, but now the international school teachers are taking parents interview first after they get in school the students. But the parents are not speaks English, so the teachers thinks that parents are not speak English very well, and I don't take admission her child in school. So this is very wrong. If they are not know English, child is not only taken in the school if parents are speaks Hindi. So this is very wrong in India. If they wanted that his child is to be in English, but they don't know, that's why they can't be admission in the school.
See, what you say is right, and this is absolutely wrong, that they should not do this. But what is there in the mind? They think that if kids do not know English, and if their parents also do not know English, then whatever school will make an attempt for them to learn English will ultimately not be very useful, because they would not get environment at home. So their effort would be double. Maybe this is the thinking. So they think that their workload would be more because they would not be learning anything at home. And these schools are basically, money making organizations. That is, I think, is one of the reasons.
But sir, all students are not same. Some are intelligent,
True.
some are not. But teachers have to be do something.
True, that's true, because we find that sometimes innocents are also punished for this.
Yes, sir. As we have said, sir, English is a very important language, and English is a global language. Sir, as sir, who countries speaks English and they have a mother tongue, but sir, Indians do not have a mother tongue as a English. But sir, Indians also speak best English in the world, as Gandhi and Nehru. And one time, Mountbatten has asked to Gandhi ji why Indians speak best English in the world, and Gandhi replied to Mountbatten, because we Indians learn English from colleges and schools, and you pick up English from street. So
True. That is very, very true, that Indians speak best English in the world. We still are at the better front. Now, towards the end of the debate, we'll go to Manish sir once again to know his views.
सर, हम लोग विश्व गुरु बनने की बात करते हैं. We have quality. हमारे पास खूबियां हैं कि हम, लेकिन हम उन खूबियों को कैसे अपने विश्व पटल पे रखें. हमारे पास बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है स्वामी विवेकानंद का. जब वो अमेरिका गए तो उन्होंने हिंदी में भाषण नहीं दिया, उन्होंने कहा ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स ऑफ अमेरिका, और यही के बाद विश्व गुरु बनने की शुरुआत हुई. अब इसको अंत तक पहुंचाना है तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे पास लैंग्वेज पे कमांड होना चाहिए. If you have command over the language, then definitely you can present yourself on world level. और हमारे पहले प्रधानमंत्री ने भी इंग्लिश में ही भाषण दिया था, when the whole world sleeps, the India wakes. तो कहीं ना कहीं जब भाषा है और भाषा हम सीख सकते हैं, हमारे पास क्वालिटी है सीखने की, तो हम क्यों ना सीखें. क्यों हम झूठे झंझावातों में फंसे रहे, क्यों हम झूठे दावों में फंसे रहे कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, वैसा नहीं करना चाहिए. सच्चाई को स्वीकार करना चाहिए. अगर एक कोई खतरनाक चीज अपने घर के अंदर पहुंच गई है तो उसको आंख बंद करके ये नहीं महसूस करना चाहिए कि वो बाहर निकल. कुल मिलाकर सच्चाई को स्वीकार करना चाहिए. इंग्लिश इज अवर international language. If we want to present ourselves, so we have to learn English, and we have to inspire our kids that you have to learn English as well as you have to learn good Hindi, not Hindi like that so-called people speaking and writing. So.
Towards the end of the debate, as you have already heard them speak, they speak their heart out here. They have spoken about the importance of English. But when we say that there is an importance of English, we never say that there is no importance of other languages. We should remain close to our own language, whether it is Hindi or it is Sanskrit. But we should know English. Whenever there is a question, we can tell what the sky is. If we learn something extra, there is no problem. And when we talk of languages, we should try to have a complete and a good command over the language, whether it is Hindi or English. It is very easy to commit mistakes in English, and there is no shame for that. But remember, there should not be a single mistake in Hindi, because it's our mother tongue. It's our language. So we should remain close to our language, but at the same time, learning English, speaking in English, communicating in English, studying in English, traveling in English, eating, everything is, if it is there is no problem. So do learn a language. Do learn a language. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll meet you again the next debate next Sunday. Thank you.